Ебать, снял?
Urgent events are unfolding at a pace few expected, and the ground is shifting fast. What looked controlled yesterday now feels dangerously unstable, with consequences spreading far beyond the battlefield. In a matter of hours, carefully hidden weaknesses have been exposed, and the ripple effects are impossible to ignore. This is not just another update, it is a turning point demanding full attention. Russia is facing a moment of severe internal and external pressure. Ukrainian armed forces drones have effectively locked enemy units into a destructive operational ring. Russian forces appear exhausted from tracking continuous strikes across regions. New footage of damaged routes and facilities surfaces online. Once again, General Gerasimov's calculations appear deeply flawed. The special operation Thruba in the Kursk region has failed. This failure undermines confidence at the highest leadership levels. Ukrainian paratroopers have dismantled Russian formations with methodical precision. The scale of disruption has shocked observers. Germany is visibly tense, watching developments closely. Moscow has already issued its first pointed statements toward Berlin. Russian forces remain on high alert, while concerns grow around the Crimean Bridge, which many now see as nearing the end of its operational lifespan. All of this has unfolded within hours, not days. The sequence begins with a wave of powerful explosions across Russian territory. Ukrainian drones triggered a cascading effect against critical targets. High-value sites linked to Kremlin strategic infrastructure fall sequentially. They are being eliminated one after another steadily. In the Lipetsk region, a local oil depot was struck and disabled. Additional impacts were confirmed in Bashkortostan, where key facilities sustained serious damage. Attention then shifted to Sterlitamak, where a major petrochemical plant was hit. 6 precise strikes reduced large sections of the complex to ruins. Russian leadership offered no immediate clarity to the public. Local reactions instead revealed confusion, disbelief, and growing uncertainty. The strikes were too frequent to dismiss, and too accurate to ignore. Russian civilians and commentators openly expressed shock. They struggled even to count the number of impacts correctly. Was it the 4th strike? Or the 5th? Or already the 6th? Fires burned intensely, visible from long distances. Witnesses described massive internal explosions, with flames bursting from within industrial structures. It was clear that something critical had been destroyed. Since the previous night, the city of Penza has remained under pressure from repeated drone activity. Russian residents complained openly, sharing footage and reactions through public channels. One industrial site, believed to be a bearing plant, took a direct hit. Eyewitnesses described a powerful blast, followed by a strange, fiery glow forming inside the structure before it collapsed. Nearby railcar production facilities were also considered potential targets. Russian air defense systems claimed to have intercepted several drones using electronic warfare measures. In one case, a drone reportedly crashed into a high-rise residential building. Debris was scattered widely, damaging surrounding areas and infrastructure. In the Leningrad region, fragments fell onto the grounds of a compressor station. Russian authorities acknowledged the incidents while attempting to project control. The Ministry of Defense claimed that 129 drones had been intercepted. However, independent verification remains difficult, and Ukrainian command has yet to release full confirmation regarding the exact number of successful strikes. At the same time, Russian forces suffered setbacks on the ground. In the Kharkiv region, an attempted breakthrough using the Soyuz gas pipeline route failed. Russian units encountered Ukrainian paratroopers who were fully prepared. What was intended as a rapid advance collapsed almost immediately. Details from the engagement indicate that approximately 50 Russian personnel were involved in the attempted maneuver. Ukrainian forces reported that at least 40 were eliminated during the encounter. The remaining units withdrew without achieving their objectives. The front line in this sector has since stabilized, with Ukrainian defense maintaining full control. Russian troops continue to operate in small groups, attempting to infiltrate between Ukrainian positions. These efforts are closely monitored and neutralized by Ukrainian defenses. Analysts describe the situation as a dangerous prelude signaling broader escalation. Beyond the battlefield, Germany's Ministry of Defense has raised serious concerns. Officials warn that Russia's hybrid operations are intensifying and could escalate further. Germany faces risks only after direct attacks on the NATO flank. However, the broader threat landscape continues expanding steadily. German authorities caution that Russia could resort to long-range missiles, armed drones, and special operations forces as part of broader pressure tactics. There is growing evidence that Russian intelligence is probing European infrastructure defenses. Some assessments suggest that decisive escalation steps could occur as early as 2029. In the event of a conventional Russian attack on NATO's eastern flank, Germany would not become a direct battlefield, according to official statements. No immediate ground confrontation is expected on German soil. However, officials stress that Russia would attempt to disrupt or delay NATO force deployments through non-conventional means. Meanwhile, tension continues to build around the Kerch Bridge. Russian forces appear increasingly nervous. Emergency orders were issued to deploy all available naval assets to the peninsula from the Black Sea side, positioning them closer to the Kerch Strait. Current patrol deployments reportedly include Federal Security Service naval vessels. They include the Okhotnik patrol ship, Grashanok boats, and Shmel artillery boats. Despite this concentration, public sources indicate that coverage from the Sea of Azov side remains limited. This gap suggests deep concern within Russian command about a possible new Ukrainian strike on the crossing. Preparations reflect fear rather than confidence. Observers note that defensive measures appear reactive, not proactive. A broader warning signal is also emerging in the Baltic region. The Kremlin has intensified its activities significantly. Communication links have been disrupted, and infrastructure is coming under attack. Russia's so-called shadow fleet has become increasingly active, targeting critical European facilities. Several countries now face a heightened risk simultaneously. NATO was reportedly caught off guard by the coordination of these actions. European governments are sounding alarms, while public anxiety grows. The question remains whether escalation can still be prevented. On December 31st, Finnish police detained the vessel Fitberg while it was en route from St. Petersburg to Haifa. Authorities suspect the ship damaged an underwater telecommunications cable connecting Helsinki and Estonia through the Gulf of Finland. The purpose of the vessel's cargo remains unclear. Investigators note that many ships in Russia's shadow fleet operate under foreign flags while remaining linked to sanctioned Russian entities. Once scrutinized, ownership trails often lead back to Russian registries. This pattern has raised serious international concern. 14 crew members from Russia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan were detained and questioned. Finnish police are investigating aggravated violations of telecommunications systems, as well as sabotage and attempted sabotage under aggravated circumstances. Experts emphasize ownership rules within exclusive economic zones. All seabed infrastructure belongs to the coastal state. Any illegal interference is subject to severe legal consequences. Finnish authorities have launched underwater inspections at the damage site to gather further evidence. The geographical implications are significant. Finland, Sweden, and Norway rely heavily on undersea connections to continental Europe. Systematic damage to these cables poses serious strategic risks. Analysts argue that such actions often precede broader regional aggression. Finnish investigators note similarities between this incident and previous cases. They involve damaged cables in the Gulf of Finland. Officials are calling for updated international protocols to address emerging threats linked to shadow fleets and hybrid warfare. Meanwhile, Finnish telecom operator Elisa reported discovering cable malfunctions shortly before the new year. Services were quickly rerouted, preventing major disruptions. Authorities continue to monitor the situation closely. Experts reference the Gerasimov Doctrine, introduced publicly in 2007. It outlines hybrid warfare strategies for modern conflict. Since 2014, and especially after the invasion of Ukraine, these tactics have been increasingly applied against European states. Similar cable damage incidents occurred roughly a year ago between Finland and Estonia. Analysts stress that these are not isolated events, but part of a deliberate pattern. Attention then shifted across the Atlantic. Reports emerged suggesting that United States President Donald Trump's health has deteriorated significantly. International media circulated insider information, prompting widespread reaction. According to reporting, Trump acknowledged taking high doses of aspirin, experiencing swelling in his limbs, and occasional hearing difficulties. Despite this, he insists he remains fit for office. White House medical officials maintain that he is in good health. Trump confirmed using compression socks due to ankle swelling, though he later stopped. He admitted that prolonged aspirin use causes bruising, sometimes concealed with makeup. He also noted hearing challenges in noisy environments. Medical assessments reportedly place his heart age at 65 years, despite his chronological age of 79. However, political opponents question these assurances. Democratic figures argue that health concerns may impair decision-making abilities. Trump's approval ratings among working-class Americans have declined sharply. Reports cite ongoing economic pressures, including employment concerns, as key factors. Analysts suggest this could influence upcoming elections and reshape political dynamics. As 2025 progressed, early optimism faded. Many Americans feel promises made at the beginning of Trump's presidency were not fulfilled. This growing disappointment is now affecting his political standing. Back in Moscow, signs of internal fracture are becoming more visible. Reports indicate that President Putin is considering large-scale purges within the elite. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov is rumored to be at risk. Sources suggest Putin is dissatisfied with the slow progress in Donetsk. Belousov reportedly informed the president that full control may not be achieved until 2027. This admission allegedly angered the Kremlin leader. One major factor was the failed operation near Kupiansk. Russian leadership had publicly claimed success, while reality told a different story. Putin reportedly received distorted information from military commanders. Belousov attempted to correct the record, but his efforts backfired. Putin viewed this as misinformation and considered immediate dismissal. Only a subsequent strike on Kyiv reportedly bought Belousov more time. Meanwhile, former Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu is rumored to be positioning himself for a return. Despite losing authority within the army, Shoigu continues lobbying for influence. Analysts remain skeptical about his chances. Many argue that trust in Shoigu has eroded beyond repair. Belousov, for his part, is expected to be reassigned to a different role, possibly within the Federation Council or Security Council. Experts emphasize that ultimate decisions now rest heavily with Chief of General Staff Valery Gerasimov. Despite past misrepresentations, he remains one of the few military figures Putin still trusts. The future leadership of Russia's Ministry of Defense remains uncertain. What is clear is that internal competition is intensifying, and stability is weakening. Old alliances are shifting, and new power struggles are emerging. These developments signal a critical phase. Events are moving quickly, with consequences extending across borders. Observers continue monitoring closely as the situation evolves by the hour. As these events continue to unfold, staying informed becomes more important than ever. Subscribe to this channel to get every update.